Hello, I'm Lori Krogman. I'm here to give a book review on this book, Resonant Leadership. I've also posted the presentation and the handouts on the discussion board. About the authors of this book, Richard Boyatzis and Annie McKee. Richard Boyatzis is a professor. He's a former CEO of a human resources research company and a marketing research company. He's written numerous books and articles on the subject of business. He has his PhD in social psychology from Harvard. Annie McKee is also a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, and she is a consultant she's a co-chair of the Teleos Institute, and they do consulting work and to try and develop leaders and executives with a focus on emotional intelligence. She has her doctorate in organizational behavior from Case Western Reserve University. What is resonant leadership? How do we get it? How do we use it? How do we sustain it? That is the purpose of this book. And the big key focus or key traits of resonant leaders have hope, compassion, and mindfulness. They are very skilled in developing strong and trusting relationships. The hope is their vision for what they feel like the company can do or their employees can do. They have dreams, they have optimism, and they truly believe that they can reach their goals, and they inspire that in their followers. They have compassion and empathy for the people they work with and the world around them, and they have a passion for the work that they do. They have mindfulness. They, as far as emotional intelligence, they have that developed. They are very aware and in step with themselves and the people around them. Sustaining this ability to be a resonant leader is also covered in this book, and it talks about self-renewal, it talks about meditation, and re-energizing your spirit through reflection and self-care, and that is called the cycle of intentional change, which is a cycle of renewal, and every leader must do this if they choose to become and remain a resonant leader. The target audience for this book is any leader in any kind of a position. I'd say it's focused a little bit more on the executive level of leadership, but any aspiring leader and new leader would benefit from reading this book. I'd say any leader that is interested in personal transformation may use some of the exercises in this book, and this would be a good way to have leaders that have lost their touch and feel like they're no longer as effective as they once were to regain that edge and feel like they can renew themselves. So the strengths of this book are the actual stories of the executives, the successful ones and the ones that have crashed and burned. So there's a very powerful story about the president of Southwest Airlines after 9/11, and there is a story about a person who is very successful in leadership position in a company, and then over time became disillusioned and disconnected, and really had to get back in touch with his values and who he really was. So that really connects it back to the lessons of the book. It also talks about how organizations create their own monsters, which I have certainly seen in healthcare. It talks about key terms of power stress and of the sacrifice syndrome, both of which are very real in leadership companies and in leadership positions. And then there are exercises at the end of each chapter, and they really help you to focus in on what you would like to change about yourself or improve about yourself, looking for wake-up calls that you can get from the people around you, and they help you to cultivate the hope, mindfulness, and compassion for your work to renew your spirit. The shortcomings of this book is that it is a long read. It has some intense self-help activities, but it is self-help, and leaders in the trenches may not feel that this offers any real solutions to their problems, and that it is very that it's soft solutions is all that it offers. The key objectives of this book, it did meet my expectations. It has great ideas of renewal through exercises, personal transformation, how you get there. It talks about power stress, and that is very real, and the effects of the sacrifice syndrome, both personally and professionally. And it offers stories to help you relate back to your own personal experiences as a leader. And there are numerous references at the end of every chapter to help you with further study. Would I recommend this book? Yes, I would. I will refer to the exercises. It's a great reference. It's a great way to re-energize and be present in body, mind, and spirit.